From the beautiful Finger Lakes region of upstate New York, this is the Dental Lighthouse Podcast. We take questions from anyone in the dental profession and discuss what it takes to win not only in dentistry, but in life. Business, leadership, relationships, parenting, health and wellness, money management, nothing is off limits on the Dental Lighthouse Podcast. I'm Jason Tenori, your host, and have over 20 years of experience to pull from. Learn from my mistakes and let me help you collapse time so you can become the best version of yourself. Yo, Dr. Jason here, Dental Lighthouse Podcast. Just going to be real with you from the beginning. This is a podcast intended for implementers, intended for people that take wisdom, take knowledge, take information, and put it to practice. And I'm going to spend just a few minutes here talking about the challenge that we plan to roll out in the next couple of weeks, and then ultimately in January, basically calling it the Beat Yesterday 4 Futures Challenge. So if you're like, I'm not that guy, this isn't something that I'm going to actually do, no judgment, just go and skip this podcast episode. But if this is something where you think, well, let me maybe get a glimpse of what Jason is doing on a regular basis, that helps him be productive, helps him keep his mind sharp's probably not the right word, but like on track. Same thing with physical health, retirement, money, stuff like that. Maybe give it a listen. And this is something where, as we unpack it, I think you'll see that we've tried to create it for everyone, no matter where you're at in life, no matter what type of habit development process you have, no matter if you're an expert when it comes to some of these things or if this is foreign to you. So if you feel like you're living the most optimized life possible, then this content is not going to be for you. But if you feel like maybe things on a daily or weekly basis are not as dialed in as you want them to be, and you're looking for a great framework to slowly but surely improve, Kaizen, beat yesterday, then this could be for you. So I know this is a podcast, so you're probably listening to it, but there's also a video that I'm actually recording a video here so I can go through our Better Than Yesterday template here. So let me try to, let me see here. Okay, cool. So again, we're calling it the Better Than Yesterday Challenge. And just from a 30,000 foot view, what we're trying to do is get people acclimated to a 4 futures practice. And I'll go through the 4 futures specifically, but the way that I consider them, the way that I was taught to consider them is the 4 futures being mind, muscle, money, and meaning. And the goal here is to do something on a daily basis that's going to better your mind, better your muscle or your overall health, better your money situation, and we'll talk about specifics, and better your meaning quadrant, which could be, it's typically relationships. So I'm going to go through the process right now, and we have a really robust, great document that my assistant Kenzie put together that we'll send to you if you want to play along. The hope is that we do it together for what I'm going to call a test run or a 7-day run. We're looking at the second week of December. And the reason why I think it's really important to do a test run is, as much as we think we're ready to do something, life gets in the way and stuff happens. And, when we don't do a test run and we only do the real thing, like let's say in January, then you're going to get knocked off the balance beam. And a lot of times when you get knocked off the balance beam, you don't get back on it, or you're like, okay, that wasn't for me, or I can't do that, or what have you. Whereas if we did like a 7-day test run, which we're going to do the second week of December, you're asking to get knocked off the balance beam because you want to know, okay, this is real. Like, what obstacles am I going to deal with on a regular basis? And more importantly, how do I navigate those obstacles so I can complete this challenge? So you work out all of the quote unquote issues during the 7 day challenge. And when you do that, it gives you just an awesome head start for the 30-day challenge in January. My wife and I did this for 75 hard, right? So, we were all like, okay, we're going to start 75 hard January 1st. And for those of you guys that know what 75 hard is, it's a pretty robust challenge. But instead of waiting till January 1st to start and figure stuff out, we decided to do a 2 week run in November and December. And man, thank God that we did, because so many little things came up that we weren't ready for or that we weren't expecting. And that 2 week dry run really gave us an opportunity to figure some shit out, to say, okay, if this happens, then that type of situation. So let's go through the four quadrants. I'm going to read for you right off the page what my summary of each quadrant is. And then after I read each quadrant, I'm going to go over some examples of what you can be doing on a daily basis, depending on your quote unquote skill level, your experience level, your wisdom, in a hope to make this sound attractive for you, right? Okay. So the first quadrant is mind. And this is what we have under mind. The quality of your thoughts drives the quality of your life. If your mindset is negative or reactive, it doesn't matter how strong or successful you are. When your thinking is grounded in gratitude, curiosity, and purpose, everything changes. This isn't about pretending everything is fine or forcing positivity. It's about creating space for truth, optimism, and perspective. When you take the time to read, to reflect, and to reframe, you start showing up differently for your team, for your patients, and for your family. When you control your inputs, what you read, what you watch, and what you tell yourself, you naturally start improving your output, your choices, your habits, and your leadership. So the goal here is for every day to do at least one thing in the mind quadrant. Now, you might do 5 things. What I've done here, and I've scrolled down on this form that we'll send to you guys if you're interested, I've given you some examples of what you can do in the mind quadrant if you're a beginner or what we're calling an intermediate. So do one of these things, do 3 of these things, do 5 of these things, create your own things. But here's some examples of what we have under mind for beginner. Read or listen to 10 minutes of a personal growth or leadership book. Write down 3 things that you're grateful for. Practice 5 minutes of mindfulness or prayer or quiet reflection. Limit your social media use to 60 minutes a day. Those are some things, either one of them, all of them, or something along those lines. You can create your own, where if you could do those things, you are checking a box for the mind quadrant. And the goal is to do that every day. Under intermediate for mind, we have read 10 pages of a nonfiction book, faith-based, business-based, leadership-based. Journal on a page your thoughts, feelings, and 3 wins that you hope to accomplish for the day. Draft and recite a set of daily affirmations. Limit your social media time to 30 minutes a day. So that's kind of what we're talking about here. Understand what the mind quadrant is. That's the first thing. Understand how it would benefit you to have a daily practice that's going to check the box of something in the mind quadrant. And then ultimately decide, what is that box I'm going to check? Am I beginner? Am I an intermediate? Am I going to do one thing? Am I going to do 3 or 4 things? And experiment with it over this 7-day period, this trial run. And you'll learn a lot about yourself, and you'll kind of figure out a plan of, okay, I feel like I have a grasp on this, and I'm excited to start in January and try to do it for 30 days. So that was mine. Let's do meaning. Meaning is built through relationships with people, with something bigger than yourself. We live in a world that celebrates constant doing, but are rarely reminded to slow down and simply be. Connection, gratitude, purpose fill the tank that works, and life often drains it. Meanings doesn't have to be complicated. It's built through small, intentional actions like checking in on someone, like sending encouragement, or taking a few quiet minutes to pray with someone. When you lead with meaning, you remember that success just isn't about production, it's about people. So scrolling down and going to the meaning quadrant, again, if you're a beginner, Send one genuine text message of appreciation to a teammate, a family member, or a friend. We call those love bombs. So send one love bomb a day. Takes a minute. Another another task that you could try to take on for the meaning quadrant: go throughout the day without gossiping or complaining. Keep as positive a tone as you can at work or at home. Another one that we put together here: give your significant other a hug. Look them in the eyes and tell them you love them. When's the last time that you did that? Um, and then another one finally is to ask yourself at the end of the day where you could have shown up better for the world, right? So maybe it's one of those things, maybe it's all those things. If you're considered an intermediate, we have some examples here of things that you could consider. Call a family member or friend that you have not connected with in some time. That's hard to actually pick up the phone and call somebody as opposed to texting them. It's a challenge. That's why we put it under intermediate. Another one we have is send someone a love bomb video. Again, that's definitely more challenging than a love bomb text. That's why we put it under intermediate. Another one: pray with your partner for a few minutes before you leave the house. It's one thing to look them in the eyes, hug them, and say you love them, but what if you were to look them in the eyes and pray over them or pray with them about something that's going on in your life, or pray for someone else? That's a challenge. And as someone that their faith is so important to them, it's even a challenge for me. So I think we put it under intermediate. And then the final example that we gave is write a handwritten note of encouragement or appreciation and leave it for someone anonymously. I can guarantee if you want to change someone's day, week, month, leaving them an anonymous letter where you're very clear about how much they mean to you or how much they mean to others, that's a game changer. Okay, so we're halfway done. Let's go through muscle. Muscle, your body is the foundation for everything else. It carries your energy, your leadership, and your ability to serve. You can't lead well if you're running on fumes. Taking care of your body isn't about chasing perfection or extreme fitness. It's about consistency and stewardship. Movement, hydration, rest are leadership habits that keep you sharp and capable. When you honor your physical health, you build the same discipline that strengthens your mindset, your patience, and your ability to perform under pressure. So everybody's going to be at different levels when it comes to the muscle quadrant or the health quadrant or the physical awareness quadrant, right? So some of the examples that we've given in the beginner category: move your body for 20 minutes a day, walking, stretching, some resistance training, maybe with bands or something like that, body weight movements. Try to get 8,000 steps per day. Another one that we came up with is drink half of your body weight in ounces of water. So if you weigh 150 pounds, then drink 75 ounces of water. And then another one is just try to be as intentional as possible about eating whole foods, right? Now, you may be trying to lose weight, so you could make one up of, I'm going to eat whole foods in a slight calorie deficit. I'm going to track my food via MyFitnessPal. I'm going to, whatever it is for you, right? It just depends on where you're at along the muscle path. Are you just starting off, or are you pretty far along? Some of the ones that we put under intermediate, do 30 minutes of focused training, either resistance training with weights or cardiovascular or yoga. Instead of 8,000 steps that we have under beginner, try to get 12,000 steps per day. Another one is drink 1 gallon of water daily. I mean, that's a big deal. I try to do that every day, and you have to be intentional about it. Another one is develop your own daily 80-20 rule when it comes to whole foods, tracking your macros as well if you're trying to eat in a calorie deficit or a calorie surplus. And then a final one that we put is no alcohol. So again, there's space in this brochure, pamphlet, handout, whatever we're going to call it, where you can put your own in, right? So maybe if 30 minutes of focused training is something that you're currently already doing, maybe we switch it to 45. Maybe we mix in Pilates. Maybe we mix in sprinting, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you commit to it and you try to check that box every single day. Finally, the money quadrant. Money doesn't guarantee happiness, but it does create options and freedom. Most people either obsess over it or ignore it, but clarity sits in the middle. Understanding your numbers brings peace of mind and confidence in your future. This isn't about chasing wealth. It's about stewardship of these resources and being intentional with your decision making. Whether you're saving for retirement, creating a budget, reviewing your spending, the goal is the same. Take control of the resources that you have been blessed with so you can create more impact and live with purpose. So I know that my listeners range all over the place, from a entry level greeting coordinator that's probably making $20 an hour to some doctors that own multiple practices and have a very, very healthy income. That's not the point. The point is, what are you doing about your current financial situation? So again, looking at it from a beginner lens, what could you be doing on a daily basis to check the money quadrant? What if you spent 5 to 10 minutes a day creating a simple personal budget? What are you making? Where are your expenses? What are your saving goals? What if you identified and removed wasteful spending? What if you identified financial habits that you can actually improve upon? What if, God forbid, you figured out a way to save 5 to 10% of your income and set it up via automatic transfers, either into a 401k, a Roth, or some type of brokerage account, right? These are little things that you can get going, ultimately change your life. Not tomorrow, not the next day, will change your life. If you're in the intermediate level, what if you spent 10 minutes a day figuring out exactly what your net worth is and what a freedom number could be to make work optional, right? We can spend some time on a or go down a rabbit hole on what we mean by freedom number. But if you know, you, right? You spent 5 to 10 minutes a day creating a will or a trust. Or most importantly, I find with high earners, you actually got down to a very strict personal budget and decided where you have some spending and efficiency and where you can cut expenses. And with that money, you in another retirement vehicle. So now you're able to walk away from work if you want to. You have the choice. Life's all about perhaps maybe a year or two, maybe 5 years, depending on your age, sooner than you were planning on doing. So that was a deep dive into the 4 quadrants, a deep dive into what the 4 quadrants mean to me, a deep dive into what are some beginner and intermediate tasks for quadrant. I would strongly encourage you to take part of this challenge and do it for December so you can make some mistakes, so you can figure some stuff out. And then we'll probably on my house Facebook page probably have an ongoing conversation. Wins, things that you're struggling with, and maybe we can support each other there. But consider it. It's easy, right? Having is easy. So I hope that's something that you're open to. I hope that you want to be better than yesterday. And I hope that you join us for this challenge for, again, 7-day trial run December. And then ultimately, once we work out some stuff in that 7-day run, a 30-day run in January. Love you guys. Reach out if you have any questions or concerns. Hope to see you in the Dental Lighthouse Facebook group, where we can help support each other as we go through this 7-day course, 30-day course. Have a great one. Thank you. That wraps up another episode of the Dental Lighthouse podcast. You have a choice today. Choose to be a lighthouse. Lighthouses are powerful and steadfast. They are beacons of light for others to reference when life gets turbulent. Go out into the world today and become a lighthouse for someone. Give more than you get. True joy comes from serving others. Start today. I'm Jason Tenori, your host. Thank you for listening to the Dental Lighthouse podcast. For more information, podcast show notes, or links to anything that we have discussed today, please check out our website, thedentallighthouse.com. We would love to hear from you. If you would like to get on the show, please email us at podcast@thedentallighthouse.com.